Welcome, grappling enthusiasts, to another captivating edition of Valor Strategy Grappling's News Roundup. Get ready to dive into the thrilling world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu once more. Today we have an interesting video for you. But before we go ahead, we have one question for you. Did you catch the recent video where Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg apparently got knocked out in a BJJ match? Apparently there's been quite some controversy, and the social media tycoon is doing all he can to deny those claims. While we're not sure if there's any truth behind the story, it doesn't hurt to create a sound argument, right? That's exactly the focus for this video, so let's get right into it. So, it's been quite the spectacle so far, with conflicting reports and a flurry of emotions. According to the Bloody Elbow, it seems Zuckerberg is adamant about distancing himself from any claims of being choked unconscious. We all know Zuckerberg as the tech tycoon behind Meta, but he's apparently been getting a bit yoked and embracing BJJ as his midlife crisis sport of choice. The New York Times even published an article examining his newfound passion. Now let's be fair. Zuckerberg wasted no time in denying these allegations, launching a full-court press to protect his reputation. He deployed his PR team and even his jiu-jitsu coach, the formidable Dave Camarillo, to fend off the mounting rumors. The New York Times put this statement out claiming that both Zuckerberg and his coach reached out to deny the claims. "That never happened," Mr. Zuckerberg wrote in an email. According to Mr. Camarillo, Mr. Costa da Silva mistook his students' effortful grunting for snores, the New York Times reported. However, things took an unexpected turn when the ref, Jose Lucas Costa da Silva, came forward, claiming to have overseen a match where Zuckerberg allegedly went night-night due to a chokehold. "There was no argument," said Costa. "It was in gi and he got choked out. That was the video you saw. I stopped it and he wanted to check with me about why I stopped it. He didn't know what was happening, which was one of the reasons I stopped it. But he had started to snore, and the rule set says that snoring is a version of a verbal tap." "I was paying a lot of attention," Costa laughed. "I was paying even more attention because it was Mark. He got caught in an Ezekiel and I waited, but he didn't fight back. And I was waiting, but on the third snore I had to stop the fight. He was very polite, but he wanted to know how the rules work." It's no surprise that Zuckerberg's denial only fueled the flames, resulting in catchy headlines like, "Mark Zuckerberg really doesn't want you to know he was choked out by an Uber engineer," and "Do you have video of Mark Zuckerberg getting choked out?" Curiosity piqued, Vice News decided to join the fray, enlisting an investigative journalist who's no stranger to being choked himself, in a sporting context, of course. The journalist, a fellow white belt like Zuckerberg, approached this matter with the utmost seriousness. Let's call him our very serious investigator. He dove headfirst into the basics, examining the available information to unravel the truth. Zuckerberg's foray into the BJJ world seems to have begun over a year ago, as he revealed during a podcast interview with Joe Rogan. Sporting his white belt, he participated in the BJJ Tour Silicon Valley tournament in early May, competing in the adult division at 155 pounds under the name Mark Elliott, which is his middle name. He took part in both the gi and no-gi categories. Unfortunately, the tournament details didn't provide the specific match results, leaving us craving more. Nevertheless, there's no shortage of videos showcasing Zuckerberg's matches. Our very serious investigator scrutinized the footage and discovered some intriguing revelations. In the no-gi division, Zuckerberg faced the same opponent in 3 matches, winning 2 and losing 1. However, neither of these matches ended in a submission. As Zuckerberg claimed the first-place spot in this division, the missing match likely tipped in his favor, making the choking incident unlikely in this particular category. But hold on, folks, because the Zucc film awaits. It's the gi bracket footage that holds the key to this controversy. Although our investigator couldn't definitively confirm if this was the match in question, it showed Zuckerberg being submitted and immediately engaging in a heated argument with the referee. Here's what our very serious investigator observed. Zuckerberg found himself challenging a more skilled opponent, who initiated a guard pull. While it may seem counterintuitive, as Zuckerberg was on his back, it actually put him in a dominant position. The match continued in this manner for 2 minutes, and then, abruptly, it concluded. Confusion filled the air as spectators questioned what happened. Was it a tap out from Zuckerberg, or did the referee intervene due to a forced nap? Interestingly, the footage shows Zuckerberg's displeasure with the outcome. He quickly bounced back up, a reaction uncommon for someone recently rendered unconscious. Throughout the video, there's no moment where Zuckerberg appears motionless. Instead, he sported a disgruntled expression, engaged in a heated exchange with the referee, and eventually embraced his opponent. According to the New York Post, the match was eventually changed to a 0-0 draw, indicating a potential disagreement between the referee's call and Zuckerberg's team. The Facebook founder had more matches in this bracket, but all available evidence points to this particular match as the source of the controversy. In the end, his opponent clinched first place and Zuckerberg secured second out of 4 competitors. A valiant effort indeed. What are your thoughts on Mark Zuckerberg's rant as well as the footage itself? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, we'd love to know whether you've enjoyed the video so far. If so, please subscribe to Valor Strategy Grappling and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the upcoming videos. With that said, let's move on to our next news of the day. Can you believe the drastic change in Gordon Ryan's physique? I mean, this guy was a beast, known for his ripped muscles and incredible strength in the jiu-jitsu world. But then he got hit with this illness, strep throat of all things, and it turned his world upside down. After his Abu Dhabi trip, he ended up in the hospital for a long time, taking round after round of antibiotics to combat the infection. But the meds didn't do the trick, and his throat just wouldn't get better. So he had to go through a tonsillectomy surgery, which is no walk in the park, let me tell you. Now here's the crazy part. All those antibiotics and the forced inactivity really took a toll on his body. The man lost a significant amount of weight and muscle mass. I'm talking about dropping down to 201 pounds, a weight he hadn't seen since he was a young buck at 21. That's a major change. Naturally, fans were shocked and couldn't help but react. I mean, we're used to seeing Gordon Ryan as this muscular powerhouse, and now he's looking completely different. Some folks started speculating, you know how it goes. They questioned whether it was just the strep throat or if there was more to the story. One guy, Chris Turnbull, even brought up the whole COVID-19 angle. He pointed out that Ryan had previously tested positive for the virus and experienced weight loss during that time. It got people talking for sure. But hey, we can't jump to conclusions without knowing all the facts, right? One YouTuber named Derek, who goes by the name More Plates, More Dates, made a video on Ryan's situation and warned against the misuse of steroids. But Ryan wasn't having it. In response to the criticism and speculation surrounding his illness and physique, he lashed out at the YouTuber for calling out his alleged use of steroids. Ryan's Instagram post, featuring a screenshot of Derek's video, expressed his disdain for the criticism. Now, we cannot really provide a solid opinion on whether this was steroids at work or simply a deadly illness. It would be best to lay low and hope that the BJJ legend is back to full fitness once again. I know all of us are looking forward to seeing the guy back in action once more. Oh man, did you hear about the training session that went down with Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski, Craig Jones, and Logan Paul? These guys got together and shared some moments on social media, and let me tell you, it caused quite a stir. Logan Paul, no stranger to combat sports after his boxing and WWE escapades, was in for a surprise when he stepped onto the mats with BJJ legend Craig Jones. In a recent social media post, Paul and Adesanya reminisced about their experience training with Craig Jones. And let me tell you, Paul was absolutely dumbfounded by Jones's grappling skills. He admitted that he had no control whatsoever when rolling with him. It's like Jones was playing a completely different game. The conversation then turned to Paul and Adesanya, who couldn't help but express their awe at his skills. Logan Paul even said, and I quote, "That guy is so good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu." Adesanya agreed wholeheartedly and referred to Jones's skills as magic. I mean, when you have seasoned fighters like Adesanya and Paul singing your praises, you know you're something special. But it didn't stop there. Paul went on to share how Jones's coach guided him on how to tap him out effortlessly. Jones would just execute the submissions at his own leisure, leaving Paul feeling completely helpless. And guess what? Adesanya confirmed that he had a similar experience getting caught in Jones's grappling web. Speaking of Adesanya, he recently shared a post on Twitter where he and Jones struck an awkward pose. In the caption, he expressed his desire to choke people unconscious instead of knocking them out with striking. He even added the man-on-man action and MMA. You can imagine the wild reactions that post received from fans. Of course, with all this talk about Jones's grappling skills, some fans chimed in with their thoughts. While many were amazed by his abilities, there were also those who felt Adesanya could use some improvement in the grappling department. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? And that concludes our news roundup for today. Which news really caught your attention in today's video? Let us know in the comments section below.